cold. So good morning, my people. What's up, Scott? Putting on my gloves real quick because I don't even have like warm gloves. It's just, I gotta get better gloves. I'm wearing like auto mechanic gloves right now because this shit is freezing. What's up, Scott? What's everybody? We're doing a quick morning walk here. We're gonna be talking about some very interesting things. I mean, I have always been connected. I really think since birth, I've been like sort of tapped into the higher realms, and then I went through stages. I think 1987 was a big stage for me, and then I went through another huge transition, and then around 2003 time, 2004, 2005, I was going through another transition, and then in 2017 there was like another wave of energy as well, and now in 2020 it's been some of the most vivid access that I've been getting. I don't even have to close my eyes anymore. I'm like seeing things right out in the open, feeling it. And good morning to everybody. Greetings, Melinda, Scott. Traveling 11. Shout out to British Columbia, Canada. Yeah, my 1987 was my near-death experience too, and I had one basically at birth. So, and we've all been going through some hard times. Many people have been going. There's a direct cosmic war affecting our planet. There's the battle between light and dark, and we are branching off as a species, literally happening like that. And I'm not making myself any more important or less important than anybody else. But we all have our own soul missions in life. And I stood at the front lines of this cosmic shift happening. Right on December 21st, 2020. Right on the winter solstice. And I can feel the screams of horror within the air. And I can also hear the call of God. I can also hear the harmony of the universe. And my heart, my very biofield was calling out to it, communicating with it. And it's funny because now, even more so, people that are filled with negativity in their lives, when they see me, they get upset. Certain people I can just affect like that. There's certain people I can't even, like, it's hard to even be around anymore because I'm sensing it. It's like I need to just go with me, my wife, and my daughter and go somewhere. Because, like, it's really intense what's happening. So some people, the ones that can hear the call of God still need to unite. You could call it the call of God, the harmony of the universe, the music of the spheres, whatever you want to call it. It's our higher dimensions. You could call it the Garden of Eden calling us back. And I've been shown some very interesting things lately, and our crystal records are activating. The Atlantean crystal records that are stored within control panels. They're the crystals that are... So I'm about to hit you guys with some very interesting information, all right? And I've talked about it a little bit over the years, but I've never been so exact as before. And I definitely urge you guys to go to my Patreon. This is part of the articles I've been writing, and I put one up last night that was really intense, and I'm going to be continuing it today. our mid-Atlantic ridge, which is one of the longest mountain ranges on our planet, right? It's like underwater, you know. Some of it is so huge that it's actually extending out of the Atlantic Ocean, right? And what is the Atlantic Ocean, right? The Sea of Atlas. The Sea of Atlas. That's what the Atlantic means. Means the Sea of Atlas. Right? This was an Atlantean king, priest, king, god type figure. Holding up the world. Why do they say this? Why do they say Atlas is holding up the world? You know why? Because we are standing on Atlantis. I've said it before. The ceiling of Atlantis is our very ocean floor. And our mid-Atlantic ridge that goes all the way from the frickin' Iceland all the way down to the end of South America. In the ocean, underneath the water. And it separates plates. It separates different plates. Like the African plates from the other plates, and it separates all these different plates. It's a technology of our planet, a technology of ancient Atlantis. And it was at one time one of the highest mountains of Atlantis, and now it is on our ocean floor. It's in our ocean. And this is our whole mid-Atlantic ridge. And within that mid-Atlantic ridge are control panels of crystals. The crystals within this mid-Atlantic ridge are control panels. They're stabilizers, they're storages of memory and energy. And in the Bahamas, which is now Bimini, right? One of the islands in the Bahamas. I'm not the only quote unquote psychic, if you want to say that has gotten visions of this. Edgar Cayce, I'm taking it to a different, you know, I go down my own way, but Edgar Cayce talked about this same place of Bimini. And some of the information he got was taken so seriously that Rockefeller, no, not Rockefeller, was it Rockefeller? Rockwell, maybe, I think it was Rockwell, or I think it was Rockwell. One of the rich guys funded an expedition that was headed by astronaut Edgar Mitchell. And they also included like people from the Edgar Cayce, psychics from the Edgar Cayce group, right? They're the ARE, the Foundation for Edgar Cayce. They have many psychics that are part of this foundation, and they accompanied friggin' Edgar Mitchell on an expedition of this site. And I know after, you know, from documented history and from doing my own viewings, that something was removed in 1926 from Bimini area, what they call, you know, Bimini Road, which is underwater stuff, right? Underwater crystal records that are involved with this. And after a hurricane in 1926, they removed some. And then there was a diver, I think it was in the late 1960s, when a diver found even more things down there. And there's been controversy about what's really there. People are saying it's not man-made, this and that. People are saying that the Japanese or somebody came through there one time and had to build a road in long ago, you know, or something like this too. And there's been all controversy down there, but I know all the way from Greenland and Iceland down to the end of South America, we have this mid-Atlantic ridge. That's proven. Now, you can speculate about what it actually is, but I have caught glimpses of literal crystal panels, crystal records that exist. And Bimini was once a part of the highest mountain in that area of Atlantis, and now it's an island. So that goes to show you, it was once a mountaintop, and now it's an island. That's why that whole area, like the, what's it called, the Bermuda Triangle and all that. It's not that people are going missing and things like that because of there's some like dark portal. It's the technology that is beneath there, that it's the frequencies that is pumping out of that. And we have a crystalline grid on our harmonic energy grid, and we have what we would call Atlantean firestones on certain places on this grid as a technology that can help stabilize our grid when it gets out of control. And that's what I believe the North Salem Balanced Rock is part of. It's a stabilizer. It can pull in healing energy. And the very crystals inside the red granite become activated, lit up with the energy from the sun and everything else. And when I was there on the winter solstice, during the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, it was being activated. And I feel that it's not just a couple of thousand years old, that granite there, that's in that stone. It's from Atlantis. It's from about 12,000 plus years ago, 10,000 BC. I think this was around the time when the last of Atlantis fell. And from what I can see, there was a comet bombardment that led to a succession of tsunamis. The crystal, harmonic, energy, quantum, huge dimensional world that they lived in, Atlantis, was converging in on itself. And literal comet bombardments were brought to unleash the waters on this planet. The sky waters, the moon unleashed the waters. And I think it was Edgar Casey had said that Bimini was once part of another island that's now an island that's like 100 miles east of that, right? And he said that that it was once like a capital city of Poseidon. All right, I've talked about this before. And this city, even Plato talked about this. Even I've shown everybody. Even the Urantia Foundation uses that as their symbol. The three concentric circles, the circles inside of each other. I think that was one of the last cities of Atlantis that's described, and it might have been right there in the Bimini area. And we have certain crystal pyramids that exist on our planet. And I do think that some are, one special one is in Utah. And there's going to be more revealed about that. It's not a coincidence that these monoliths are popping up in certain places like that. Let's see who's in the chat room. Yeah, I'm not doing too many new podcasts right now. I've been doing some of the ones that I've known people for a few years. There's a lot of new podcasts that I haven't been doing that much, but maybe in the future we could. tell you a lot about a lot of things. I'm sure you could. Do your own videos. What's up? Yeah, I mean, see, the thing about Edgar Casey is that he was being embodied. He was being embodied by what some would call in Christianity a rebellious angel. He was channeling something. Edgar Casey would wake up and not remember what he said or what was being transpired. So it's completely different when that is happening than when you're connecting to your higher self. Right, so something was working through Edgar Casey for a specific reason, and which could bring valid information, but there was something else going on there, right? He was literally channeling something. It's not a connection to your higher self when you're being shut off and something else is working your body and your consciousness and taking over even your voice and speaking through you. Even Edgar Casey himself said in some of his readings that the angel Halil had appeared, had spoken, like, and said its name. You know, this is one of the angels in Kabbalah that the very word hell is derived from. So you could take it as any way you want. Some of the information I do believe is very, very accurate. Of course, he was doing, and a lot of these, you'll find out that a lot of these people who basically have somebody else embodying them, right? A higher being or some other force is embodying them. A lot of them will be able to do miraculous healing on people. Edgar Casey was able to diagnose and treat illnesses while he was asleep. Catatonic. Not even needles in his toes would make him flinch. He was completely catatonic, asleep, not knowing what transpired. You would have to tell him. And if somebody wasn't truthful with him in the room, they could actually ask him any questions they want and get information out of him, you know, and manipulate. And I do think that this was the way that the Urantia book was channeled and used by Dr. William Sadler from Chicago, who was a psychiatrist and a research in psychic activity and telepathic activity. And I do feel that he was the one that was manipulating the channelings of Edgar Casey to get the Urantia book. But it's the same thing with Arrigo. Z Arrigo. Arrigo was a Brazilian surgeon that I've spoke about before. But he was a peasant. He was just a normal guy, had a normal job, but he was said to be, he claimed to be embodied by a higher force, he said, that was once an actual German doctor that died in 1919. And he was friggin' doing healings as well and doing the same things as Edgar Casey. He wasn't doing it from his asleep, but he was doing surgeries on people, having no prior medical knowledge, and being able to write these long procedures and prescriptions with all this medical knowledge that seemed to be from generations even before. Certain words and certain prescriptions that he was even using, certain medicines that he would say to use, even would be medicines that were no longer in use really anymore because they were used long ago. It would be, but they would work. You know, he was literally channeling something that was claimed to be a German doctor at one time, but he also said it was a higher force. And he's one of the most amazing mans to research is Z Arrigo, because Arrigo was working on 200 people a day for free. He had a normal job during the day, and then he would work on 200 people. Some operations would only be a few seconds. He was using the same knife over and over again. No cleanliness, nothing. And no people would get infections, no contaminations, and people were being healed. There was some sort of force. I mean, it wasn't just hearsay either. Some of the world's most renowned neurologists and medical surgeons, they went to Brazil to study him for long periods of time because they thought it was some sort of mass hysteria, that there's no way this could be true. And there's literal videos about it, seeing it. So it's either that it was one of the biggest hoaxes of all time, or there was something real going on there. And it's not the only person that is a quote-unquote psychic surgeon. There's other people that have been claimed to be psychic surgeon, but Z. Arrigo was one of the only real ones. I mean, even some of these doctors, like Dr. Polharich, had surgeries from this guy and had it recorded on camera. So it's very interesting. I'm not trying to test anyone's knowledge. It's not a pissing match. Yeah, this is the only reason why I speak some of this information out there, because, unfortunately, the average person that hears this will be like, oh, this guy is crazy, this stuff is crazy, right? And it's, unfortunately, we've been programmed because that way. But I do talk about this, and I risk my reputation, but I also have people all over the world that respect me because of it and know about me, and I can't believe it. And not that I'm famous in any way or anything, but do you realize, like, certain places I go, even the small amount of, I've done readings, and I've had customers, and I've, done interviews with people from all over the world. So there's people that know about me in all different countries. It's not like people don't know me, but it's not like I'm famous in any way either, So, but there's times where I'll go to like a store or something, and like the cashier or somebody will know me from YouTube, from my videos. And it's pretty weird because, like, I've been suppressed for sure. Like, just like a couple of days ago, my subscribers here on YouTube were 5,100, 5,100. Now it's like 4,900. So, like, they'll go up a couple hundred, then go down a couple hundred. And there's no way that hundreds of people are just unsubscribing or people are getting deleted. That it's like there's certain things that they do. They delete, there's certain things, and I questioned it like a year or two ago with them, and they responded and told me that my views and subscribers are significantly higher than what's showing, and they can't understand why. There's some sort of glitch. So I just left it as is. I'm not going to start a new channel. I mean, I could do a second channel and see what happens, but I never got into it for the money or anything like that. It's not like I make money from this, so it wasn't about that, so I just left it. But I do these videos to help activate people, to help get people sparked so they can do their own research. I'm not saying this for you guys to believe 100% of what I'm saying, or that I'm some, whatever. I'm not a spiritual advisor in any way. I do readings on people, not to spiritually advise them, but to help them get on their journey. Point them maybe just show them certain things that I'm getting visions of that can help them discover more about themselves. They're doing their own work. It's just that I've been given a certain gift from God. There's certain things that have happened to me in my life where I can sense certain things about people. So why keep that to myself? What am I going to use that to get over on people? Right? I could use that ability to manipulate people And as a teenager, for a short period of time, I did. You know, there's a times where I was partying, I was running around with my friend. You know, I didn't care about a lot of things because I was going through some problems, right? From family issues to, you know, just being a teenager and different things. And I was going through some issues, right? So I was actually using that intuitive ability to manipulate people, girlfriends, you know, things like that. Not that I was like such a bad guy, but you know, I would use my intuition and some of the things that I would get shown about people to my ability, you know, to my benefit, right? And it would only be the people that were the closest to me. It wouldn't be like just a random person I met, but it would be like people that were, you know, more closer to me. Oh, Killian, thank you so much. And I started to realize that, you know, in around the year 2000, you know, around 2000, 2001, things started to change about my thoughts about all that, you know, and I started to realize that it's not, I'm not the victim. Like now I'm like, you know, it's not that. It's that I'm old enough to now to know the right from wrong. Certain things that happen to you in life that is not under your control, you got to learn from it. It's not that you got to dwell in it, right? So now it's completely different, you know. Now that's why I decided to use those abilities to try to help people, you know, and find people, because I've been shown some of my soul mission, the reason why I'm here. You're not here by accident. You chose to be here, right? Whether it was tricked or not, if however you want to look at it, we're sort of in this realm of it's a realm of a cosmic virus, a data virus. And there's a dimensional calling happening, and we are being called back to the higher realms, to our higher coordinates that we came from, that we fell from. And we are being pulled right back up through the loop of time. What's interesting about Edgar Cayce is he said that Atlantis is now covered by the slime of the ages. And many interpret this to be the algae, right? The slime of the sea, because it's under the water. But it takes a psychic to interpret a psychic sometimes. And it's much more than that. He was talking about the literal cosmic slime, the data virus, not just the algae. And it wasn't Edgar Cayce talking. It was some sort of higher dimensional being talking through him. You can call it a rebellious angel, a fallen angel if you want to call it. But I do believe that something was using him as an instrument. And when certain people can get in certain harmonic brainwaves, certain meditative states, this is where you can communicate with those higher dimensional entities. It's only through telepathy. Thank you so much, Killian. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this morning. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, if you follow my work, Mercury, you'll see that I say channeling is extremely dangerous. And that's why I'm saying there's a difference between channeling and connecting to your higher self. You should never need a middleman to get information. You should be able to connect to your higher self. That's why when when I'm connecting, it's not through channeling. It's not from letting something else speak through me. There's a way difference. You never need a middleman. And a middleman can be something even like a Ouija board or something like that. You know, you never need a middleman. Too many distortions can get in the way. You guys have a good day, and spiral out.